been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony here, back with another episode of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. And today we're talking crappie fishing with two-time guest now, Mr. Shiloh. He's a crappie pro, as we would say.
He's a crappie smasher.
Yeah.
Dude, y'all, he smashes crappie. That's just what happens.
Yep. So we're excited to have you back on, man. Thank you for coming on.
I appreciate y'all having me. It's nice to talk to somebody down here in the South. You know, you all moving to Georgia. And,
yeah.
You know, somebody that calls it a crappie still instead of a crappie. So
yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly, and we know that there are two different species of crappie.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody tells me, you know, I say I pronounce it wrong, and I'm like, no, I pronounce it right. Y'all are just from a different part of the country.
Yeah. What really throws me off, and I know we talked about this a little bit last time, but how they call them specks in Florida, that always throws me off.
Specks, and you go to Louisiana, they call them sockeye. Yeah, sockeye.
They call everything weird stuff. They call like coots, poodoos, and they call canoes pirines. Is that what they call?
I guess they're all French words.
Piro, yeah.
I guess.
So
I guess they're all French.
Yeah, it's the French language still coming out.
Yeah.
So, but sockeye means pretty much, I think it's white milk or bag of milk, which refers to the whiteness of the crappie.
That's interesting.
Huh.
Yeah. Being able to travel like I did last year and a little bit this year, you get to learn all the different terms.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, man. So, you know, what we're going to kind of break down for y'all tonight is basically we're going to go into some stuff about basics. So if you just want to know, hey, I just want to go out and fish some crappie, right? And we'll go over some different areas of the country depending on where you're from, just because I know that, you know, you fish them different depending on where you're at and stuff. And you know, we're going to go into what the life what it's like to be on tour and do that kind of grind that Shiloh's done in the past. And also, you know, we're really excited for Shiloh to announce that, you know, he's now guiding just wallop freaking crappie tours.
Yeah,
dude, I mean, like, for real, bro. You just keep posting this stuff. I'm like, talking about making your clients happy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's time on the water is a lot of it, but it's you know, I didn't have to quit my job, but they were getting in a position where my commute was going to be different, and I was getting to a point where I was constantly being called and text, you know, hey, do you have any openings? And I was just booking weekends, and I sat down with my wife, you know, and we're expecting a baby now in July, which is awesome.
Oh, congrats, man.
Yeah, congrats.
You know, that stuff hits home. I don't want to travel as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat down with her. I said, what if I just quit my job and went to be a full-time guide? And she's like, do it. It's what you've always wanted to do. You're getting enough messages, enough trips to where you could just take a shot. So I quit, and right there, the 1st of April was my last day, or 1st of February was my last day.
Nice.
And I've been on the water probably, I've probably had 4 or 5 off days since the 1st of February. So I'm on the water every day. Even my off days, I still find myself out there looking for new fish to go catch for my clients. So
sounds like the wife's happy.
She's happy. I'm a little tired, but I enjoy it. You know,
she don't
I could
care.
go out there.
No,
I could go out there and not get paid, and I could still have a great day and have fun.
Yeah.
So,
just
and that's what it's about at the end of the day. It's just having fun.
Yeah, man. And just hearing you say that, like, I'm sitting here smiling just because I like that's just got to be gratifying, you know. And that's honestly, you know, some American dream type stuff, you know.
Yeah. And how many people do you like? You know, I know y'all moved when you were in high school, Tristan.
Mm-hmm.
We took a risk moving down here 2 years ago now, and a lot of people fail when they move, and we just, you know, the first 6 months is touch and go. Like Tony, I'm sure you know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get on your feet and you're like, wow, this is actually working out. And now to see, you know, we're buying a house and we got a little girl on the way. I'm like, I would never expected this 5 years ago that I would have moved to Alabama and starting a family.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
and I think something that's interesting on that topic, is that, us as individuals, we're all built different, for different desires as humans and the things that we do. And I think it's interesting when you break that down, what you're going through, Shiloh, because I've been there, and Tristan, you pretty much have been too. And that's there's this uneasiness when you're on your own. You're disconnected from family. You're kind of just there, and you're like, there's a sense of urgency, but there's also a sense of anxiety, a little bit, which is where I'm going with this is it's a very normal feeling to feel when you go through something like that, because I mean, it's one thing just to grow up. That's why so many people grow up where, they were born, because it's getting out of that comfort zone. It does make you feel uncomfortable, and it is daring. And kudos to you. I just think it's a great thing. Not everybody's built with. Some people would love to be built with it, but man, just sticking your neck out like that is very bold.
Yeah, it's one of those you take a leap and you either run with it or you turn around and go back home, and it's worked out for us. And 2 years ago when we moved, I never would have thought I was going to become a full-time guide fishing for crappie every day. It's watching the sun come up, pop over the trees, clients walking down the ramp, and going out and teaching them how to, catch fish and consistently put limits in the boat for them to enjoy,
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, this is easy, but it's so much fun, because they always say, if you do something you love, it's not actually work.
That's right.
And it's at the end of the day, I'm like, I could go do this. I could put the boat back in the water after my trip and still go out there and keep catching, keep fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So
for sure. Well, and that brings up another side of the fence there. That Shiloh, I just got back from guiding snow goose hunts for a couple weeks out in northeast Arkansas, and and one thing that I talked about that it really gave me a perspective of, and I've guided deer hunts and stuff like that before, but it just hit different. Was that when you do this, whether it's fishing, hunting, whatever you're guiding, honestly, it's what do you do, whatever you give your 110% to, when you got to love it. All right. Like, I don't think people understand, unless you've been on the guide side of it, what I mean when I say you got to really love it. Like, not meaning like you're taking anything away from it. It's just that it just gave me a different perspective. I'm just like, when he's talking, didn't it remind you kind of Kade, like when he started his operation, just started working out with just taking clients out, and just loving it and wanting to see the smile, and
you have to eat, sleep, and breathe it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you and where I'm staying on the lake pretty much. So like I'm 5 minutes from the nearest boat ramp. I'm there an hour before my clients get there. I'm talking to the guys at the bait shop. Guys that are coming in from Tennessee, Kentucky, all over the country to come to this lake, and they may not be fishing with me, but, I'm still telling them like where to go catch fish, how to catch fish. If they struggle, give me a call, any of that stuff.
That's awesome.
That's great, man.
Because I not only, guys see me go out there and catch fish all the time, but I hate when people travel here, show up, not catch fish, and they struggle, because they're here to have a good time. They're here to catch fish. And at the end of the day, I want everybody to catch fish. And I hate to see people struggling.
Yeah, and I mean, by like the numbers that I've heard, like you really, there's really no need to like hide, like be so secretive about stuff, because you literally can't catch enough of them.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, and I've got forward-facing sonar. I'm seeing upwards of 1,000+ fish a day.
Yeah. I mean,
us taking 60 out of there is not hurting anything.
Right.
So, and you got to think those fish are going to spawn in 2 years. They're going to you have a continual healthy population of fish. So
well, and I think the everyday fishermen, people that are so intimate with each water body that you're on, like that. If you guys started to see a downslide, that was serious, y'all would be the first people to punch in any kind of conservation clock. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The fishermen are always, the hunters, the fishermen, they're always the first ones to go, whoa, we got to fix something or we're not going to have this resource, you know?
Yeah. And, and the way I would do that is, talk to the local biologists.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, those are the ones running the nets to do the population, just to see what kind of class fish is there. And, they can base off of what we're catching. They can see that and be like, okay, we know those fish are here. We know those fish 2, 3, 4 years ago had real good spawns. Why haven't the last 2 years haven't had a good spawn?
Mm-hmm.
So, and they can base that off of, last year's rain. If we didn't get any rain in the spring, stuff like that. So, but we haven't had that issue here. We've got so many little fish along with really good fish all the way up to my client. I didn't post nothing, but what day was it? Monday, I had a 290 in the boat. So,
wow.
That's a big crappie.
Yeah.
A little over 17.5 inches long.
Shoot.
Golly.
That's awesome, man.
That's a pig.
Did go ahead.
Go right ahead, Tristan.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, did we talk to you last time you were on the podcast? Did we talk to you when we went fishing with our buddies, went crappie fishing, or was that before or after?
I think it was right before you guys were going. You guys went to Arca Butler, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh! And what's sad is they drained that lake because they're doing repairs on the dam.
Yep.
But that lake is it's flat out amazing. It had some giant fish in it,
dude.
Well, everybody knew the right
insane.
time of year with that lowering of the water. Everybody knew hey, this is the time period where you go smash them. You know what I mean? And that's when we went, and that's exactly what we did.
It was crazy, man. It was just like, because I'm used to Illinois farm pond crappie, and
jig fishing.
Yeah.
Like the average crappie we caught that day was like the best crappie I ever caught in my life in Illinois.
That's how the last 2 trips I've ran. I've had the same 2 clients they come down from Illinois, fish with me the last 2 days. And they're like, yesterday we had 60, and I don't think a single fish was under 12 inches.
Goodness.
Wow.
They literally said, they're like, we fish all day in Illinois and you catch 2 or 3 of these.
Wow.
I said, you've come down here and caught 60 in the last 2 hours. You caught and released, so we really caught probably upwards of 100 fish in that, 11 to 13, 14 inch class.
Golly.
So
yeah, I was blown away. The smallest one I think we caught that day was like 15 3/4 or something like that. 15 1/2. I don't know.
It was like 13 1/2.
13 1/2 or something. But the rest of them were all upwards of 14 plus. I mean, they all were big. And I was just like, dude, all these are like golf ball mouths. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They grow big over there. they do.
Well,
I spent it. So we'll rewind a little bit. In February, I took a week-long trip. I went to Texas for 2 days, Arkansas for 2 days, and Mississippi for 2 days. And in Texas, and this was just for fun. We just took a little week trip, get away, catch a bunch of fish. We didn't keep a single fish. We were just...
Williamson Outfitters, located along the beautiful Gulf Coast of Florida, is a premier guide service with lodging that provides incredible coastal duck hunting, gator hunting, fishing, gigging, scalloping, and custom boat tours along Florida's Forgotten Coast. They are family owned and operate with over 200 years of combined experience hunting and fishing along this incredible stretch of Florida. Is flounder gigging on your bucket list? Williamson Outfitters offers nighttime gigging charters April through October. Targeted species include not only flounder, but also sheepshead, black drum, mullet, gar, and even stingrays. Fishing charters consist of inshore and nearshore fishing targeting species such as tripletail, redfish, trout, mahi-mahi, shark, flounder, sheepshead, black drum, snapper, jacks, and mackerel. On coastal duck hunts, you have an incredible chance at rare species like redheads, bluebills, buffleheads, fully plumed blue-winged teal, mottled ducks, whistling ducks, and several other species. Spots are filling up fast, so book today. Call or text Captain Chris at 850-251-8650 or visit floridaducks.com. Mention One Hell of a Life podcast and receive 15% off your trip. Offer ends March 31st.
Having fun, because that's what it's about. And Texas on Sunday when we were there, the second day we were there, I caught 48 fish over 2 pounds.
Wow.
In 8 hours.
Oh my.
I was like, and I had a 306. You know, it's just days like that. I look back on it, I'm like, that was just fun.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And I didn't put a single one of them in my live well. I let them all go. I could care less about keeping them fish.
Sure.
And then in Arkansas and, you know, Grenada, Arkansas is we fished a completely different way. Then we got to Mississippi and we fished another completely different way. And I think I caught a 310 in Mississippi, and they're built different. You know, it's just a great thing.
They're Boone and Crockett's.
Dude,
They are. I mean, it's like the Pike County of deer hunting,
Right?
Yeah.
It is.
So,
man, it's so interesting, like, you know, the different, how fish are the same species but different in, you know, different areas. But,
yeah, they all act different.
you know, one thing you mentioned rewind, like, I think it'd probably be good just for people that didn't listen to the first podcast if you kind of just did like a recap of like your fishing. I don't know if you want to call it a career, Shiloh, but like, you know, just what the last couple of years have been like, man, because it was so interesting to us last time, just getting to hear your stories and stuff.
Yeah, so I started out. I just used to fun fish back home in Illinois. I kind of dipped my toes in tournaments, and I fished an amateur side of Crappie USA of a national trail, and I won. And I didn't fish any other tournaments the rest of the year. And then my partner and I, we were like, let's go fish the national trail, and we ended up getting, we decided to fish the pro division, and we just got our tails whipped every tournament. We knew it was going to be a bad year just because it's your first year. We didn't expect to go out there and just blow the world away.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's like when you pick a duck call up for the first time, you're not going to blow it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it takes practice. So we did a lot of practicing in the off season, and we come out the second year and stayed on the pro division, and we did really good. Ended up second in national points and had a lot of fun. And last year we continued that, and we ended up in third in national points last year and fished. I don't even want to know how many tournaments I fished last year. I felt like I was gone more than I was home. But, you know, and I've kind of taken a step back from that, having, you know, a little girl on the way, you know, due in July, and I wanted to stay home more and just have fun and go back to guiding, just kind of back to my roots, just having fun fishing again.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys, you know, you hear about, you know, tournament fishing, there's tournament this weekend, you got to go do this, you got to do that. And it's fun, but the stress of a tournament just wears you down, you know, and when I'm able to stay home and just go catch fish, it's so much better.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man. No, I could totally imagine, because even just being on the road, like doing what we do, even though, you know, it's not like we're on a duck hunting tour or a deer hunting tour or anything like that, but like just being on the road sometimes and always like trying to make content, make a video and stuff, it kind of does wear on you to the point where you're just like, sometimes you're like, man, like I just want to go out and like hunt and not even bring a camera.
Yeah. Not even worry about it. Just go have fun.
Mm-hmm. And
you know, and that's part of it. This, and I was going to say that content, you know, you're trying to continuously put new content out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how it is. It gets to a grind and it's rough. And I mean, I'm sure you guys know how this year was with duck hunting. There just wasn't a lot of birds anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like a 10-year, or it might have been worse than that. Like the Mississippi Flyway or whatever was like so down on mallards. Like I think in December there was like 80,000, and at that point there's typically 400,000. So
yeah. So and you know how, so you're stressed out because you're wanting to put stuff out there, but you're not having anything successful, so it's hard to put something out there.
Yeah, as much as we like keeping it reality, it's like you can only put out so many videos where you get skunked. You know? Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah, we never use footage from like something else.
Yeah,
you know,
that's how I am. Man.
Yeah, I'm like, no, dude, if it's not real, it's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had hunts that were awesome. The B-roll was awesome, and we had basically like one shoot, in the hunt, and it was a good shoot, but you can't do a video of one volley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like doing a fishing video with one fish.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting them back on the hook and setting the hook 30 times.
Yeah.
But that stress of having to put content out there every day and that constant grind, doing that day in and day out from daylight to dark for the chance of winning a little bit of money wears you down hard.
Yeah.
For real.
I bet.
Especially being away from family. Like now I'm able to go see my wife. I can go in the next room and see my wife if I want. So I could care less. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Now instead of traveling and fishing tournaments.
Yeah, and it's got to be so rewarding too, just from people all over coming to fish with you, and just getting to meet all those different people and get those smiles,
Yeah, those most people, they come out and they'll fish by themselves and be like, man, I ain't caught but 5 fish all week, and they go on a guided trip in 2 hours. They've got 30 keepers. They're like, what the heck?
I got my money's worth.
Well, dude, that's that's kind of like part of the. A lot of people say to do that. If you're gonna go to a place and try something new for the first time, like split it up with a guided trip. Just to.
That's what we did.
I mean, that was kind of our strategy with Arkansas for the first time. We've talked about that before, but like, yeah, I mean, and if you're getting your butt kicked all week, you can have a better chance of having a good day going with a guide and learn some stuff.
Yeah, because I've never been on a guided fishing trip, but I enjoy the struggle of figuring it out. That, to me, if I can go to a new body of water every day and try to figure those fish out, that I like that challenge. Yeah. That's what I strive on. And moving to Alabama has made me a 10 times better angler because I've had to learn so many new bodies of water.
Yeah.
I live on Guntersville, which is the Tennessee River, but I guide on the Coosa River, which is a dirty, muddy river compared to Guntersville being clean and rocky. So
I got you.
Yeah, it's a completely different strategy.
Yeah, it's 2 completely different fisheries, and the fish act way different. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I just think it's really interesting. That's what blew Tristan and I's mind when we went to Arcabutla was the strategy. We got in this boat, and I'm just saying this from how I viewed it. I was like, dude, I haven't sat in a boat like this unless I was offshore fishing. We had these spider lines out, and there was all these lines out, and they all had bass crankbaits on them, and I was like, what? I go, we're fishing for crappie? Like, oh yeah. I couldn't believe it, dude. But would you mind going into some of those types of setups or some? Yeah.
So Mississippi, not as much anymore. But they still like to do it. Is they'll pull crankbaits. So you guys were probably sitting on the back of the boat, and you had anywhere from 40 to 100 foot of line out.
Yep.
And you were pulling crankbaits down there from anywhere from, I would say, 6 to 12 or 14 foot deep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what they do is they put a big spread out off the back of the boat. You probably, I don't know, did you guys use 18 footers or 16s on the outside sweeper rods pretty much?
Yeah, I just know it went down incrementally a couple feet each time.
Yeah, it probably either had, starting with your furthest rod towards the bow of the boat, so your front of your boat, was probably your longest rod. It probably was a 16 or 18. It come down to a 14 or 12, down to a 10 or 8, and down to a 6.
Yep.
And you had that on each side. So if you looked at it, it was a mirror. But you're pretty much just pulling baits through, you think about it, 16 or 18 feet out the left side and out the right side. You're covering 36 foot of water if you're using 18 foot rods.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and you got baits 2 foot in each way. So and you've got them varied in depth. So those fish, when you're pulling that crankbait through there, they're going to feel the vibration, the rattle, or the wobble off that bait, and they're going to come investigate it. And that's what you guys were there in the middle of June, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's typical for that time of year. You got spider rigging, which you put 3 or 4 rods out the front of the boat with 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce weights with 2 minnows or a single jig. And that's typically, they're doing that a lot right now for the springtime, with 14 or 16 foot rods, and they're trolling real slow, 0.2 to 0.4. You guys were probably moving anywhere around a mile an hour, if not a little faster.
Yeah, we were. It was right around there.
Yeah, and that's typical for Mississippi. A lot of that can be mimicked in Southern Illinois as well as where we were from, the Metro East area of Illinois. But like here, what I'm doing in Alabama, I'm using forward-facing sonar, and I'm locating schools of fish 100 foot in front of the boat. One school may have 10 fish, or the next school may have 50 to 100 fish. And I'll catch up to this fish with my trolling motor, and we're taking single 1/8 ounce jigs.
In the outdoors, every detail counts. See sharper, aim clearer. From the river's edge to the heart of the flooded timber, Hook and Bullet has your vision covered. Hook and Bullet's purpose-built optics are flawlessly crafted to give you an edge regardless of your outdoor pursuit. Use code ZeroDuck30 for 15% off a pair of Hook and Bullet sunglasses today.
And casting at those fish, and when that bait comes through it, you're able to see it on live sonar. Those fish turn around, chase that bait, and eat it. So
That's
entertaining. And you can see it all happen. And there's naysayers out there that live scope's not fishing, or forward-facing sonar isn't actual fishing. But those guys that say that, when they get in my boat, I tell them, all right, you're going to see upwards of 1,000 fish today, but you're only going to get 60, 70 of them to eat.
Yeah.
And they don't believe me. And I'm like, those fish, each of them has their own attitude. So, the best part is, once they get 30 or 40 fish in the boat, I'll tell them, all right, you run the troll motor, and you keep up with that. You keep up with that school of fish, and you know where to cast, because I'll tell them where to cast, when to reel, hold the rod left or right. And then you start taking boat control and turning the boat at certain times. And a lot of people don't realize that on the back end, your guide's doing a lot more work than you're actually seeing.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
And I'm sure the guide you guys were with, he would probably speed up, slow down, turn the boat.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to pick up a reaction by pulling baits behind the boat.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys and gals, we just follow each other, and that's one thing we found it very communal, people just were like, yeah, hey dude, get them, and it was fun.
Yeah. And that's what it's about is, it's about having fun. It's not about being secretive or, I'm not telling nobody where, how I'm catching fish, because I don't want people here. I'll tell them where I'm catching fish, but I'm not necessarily where I'm catching them, but how I'm catching them, the depths I'm catching them. And they can, if they look at a map or they study and do this certain area, they can pick it apart and eventually see how we're catching fish, and they can do what we're doing. Right.
Yeah. But it's good though, because then, it's putting enough information to help people out, but also you do have to put in the work to figure the stuff out. And
that way when they do it, they're not like, oh well, we just caught these fish because he told us they were there. When they do it, they're like, wow, I've actually figured that out. So that to me, and that's how I was taught. And a lot of guides, if somebody calls them and asks for information, they'll probably hang up on you. Honestly, I'm not one of them. I'm like, I don't want to see people struggle. I know I mentioned that earlier, but I want everybody just to have fun and go catch fish. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Right.
And that looks good for me, and when somebody comes back and they're like, hey, give him a call, he may take you on a fishing trip.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
customer service at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And what goes around comes around, and
Yep.
You know, I mean, just the more you can be positive towards people, you know, I mean, the better odds are they're going to end up calling you back and wanting to go fishing with you. So
Exactly. You know, and I can't thank my clients enough this year. A lot of them that book with me after fishing with me, they book another day in the fall, or they already book a day for next spring. So, and that's the best part about it.
yeah, no, that's awesome. And I mean, the fact that, you know, you can kind of, I know obviously things change and the, you know, the way they bite changes, but like, I would imagine you can pretty much guide crappie like all year, can't you?
Yeah, all year long. Like I'm booked out now. I think I've got one off day this month, which is Easter Sunday. I refuse to work on the holiday, so I'll be off the water one day, unless weather. You know, I'm not going to take anybody out in severe weather. That's just, I don't want them to be miserable.
Is that because of the spawn now? When do they start to spawn there? Like, what temperature are you looking for?
I'm looking for about 62, and I'm thinking here in probably about 2 weeks we'll probably have it. We'll have our first wave of fish start spawning, because they're not all going to spawn at the same time. Kind of like all the ducks aren't going to fly south at the same time. You know, you'll have a wave of fish hit the banks probably in the next week or two. And, you know, a week or two after that, you'll have another wave. It just, more fish will move in, some fish will move out, and they'll drop their eggs and go back to the river channel. But, yeah, I've got one off day this month, and I think I've got 4 or 5 off days next month right now. So, and then I don't really want to fish a whole lot in the summer because it's so hot. But then I'll pick it back up in the fall and be back at it full time.
I got you. Now, you know, if you're just like, you know, you're wanting to get into crappie fishing, you're wondering what this is all about. You know, why people get so excited about crappie fishing. Like, I know a lot of offshore fishermen, a lot of saltwater fishermen. They're like, crappie, whatever. They just laugh about it, you know. But really, a lot of it is, I mean, is the fun in the setup that you have. You know, the reel, the way they fight, and all that kind of stuff. You know, but what's some just like, if I'm just, I just want to get into the sport cheap and I just want to go out and try to catch some crappie, where's some just like, if you were to write us a commercial on the basics, like from the stuff you need, not even needing a boat, but I got some gear and I'm going to go to a lake and how do I get into it?
So really you just need a good 6 to 7 foot spinning rod with a decent reel on there, 6-pound line. And this time of year, the spring of the year, you can get away with a slip cork or a foam cork from Walmart with 16th ounce or a 1/8 ounce jig head with black and chartreuse. If you're in dirty water, silvers and blues and clear water, and look for you know, if you're just going to your average city lake, look for a tree laying down on the bank or stumps out in the water or a grass line, and cast that out there and just kind of twitch it back to you. You know, those fish they're staging up to spawn, and that's from where we're at here in the South all the way up to Illinois. Those fish are going to be, you know, like I said here, I'm chasing a lot of fish out in open water in 16 to 20 foot of water, but those fish are going to start disappearing anytime and heading up real shallow in 8 to 10 foot. But that's going to continue all the way up in the next several weeks and it's going to keep traveling north. You know what I mean? So those fish are going to keep where they are now this week. Here in Kentucky next week, they'll be doing the same thing. And then the week after that, they'll be doing it in Illinois. And you can kind of follow that spawn up. But that's what I would be doing, is just looking for any kind of shoreline structure you can walk up to and fish it if you're at your city lake or farm pond, and trying jigs, trying minnows. Another good thing to try this time of year, and when that water temp really starts getting warm, and if you're on the bank and you don't really know what the water temperature is, if you stick your hand down in it and it's got a little bit of chill to it, but it's got some warmth, and Tony and Tristan, you probably know what I'm talking about. When you have the sunny days, you have a little bit of chilly water, but it still feels warm to the touch, right? Yeah, that's what you're looking for with crappie. That's when you have that, they're starting to move shallow.
Interesting.
So, and And one thing to try when they start doing that, and you guys are going to call me crazy, is wax worms. You think bluegill would tear them apart, which they will, but spawning crappie love wax worms.
Huh.
It's something about the scent.
Huh.
Really? Okay.
They'll eat it over a minnow during the spawn.
Huh. Well, maybe it's something too with like they associate it with like less effort too. I don't know.
I think it's the scent of it getting close to them eggs. They just don't want them there.
Yeah.
And they just react better to it than a minnow.
Wow.
So clients will get in my boat, and it's starting here in a couple of weeks. I'll probably actually keep a 500 pack of waxworms in my boat, just to, and I'll put 4 or 5 of them tipped on the back of a jig, pretty much, and that scent will make that fish crush that bait. They'll get in the boat with me, and they'll be like, "What the heck are you using those for? You don't catch crappie with that." After about the first 3 fish, they'll be like, "Okay, you know what you're doing."
That's your pro tip right there.
There it is. There it is. You just got the inside magic trick from the magician himself.
Yeah. So, but waxworms, mealworms. I don't use any night crawlers, nothing like that. But that small little white waxworm, they knock the crap out of it. So
that's awesome.
And even just tipping a jig with that and with a cork and around a laydown, you're going to catch some fish, whether they're bluegill or crappie or a little largemouth or even a channel cat. That's the thing about crappie fishing. You really never know what you're going to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
When you specifically go for catfish with stink bait, you're going to catch catfish or a turtle. When you're bass fishing, you're typically going to always catch a bass. And bluegill, you're using those small night crawlers. You're going to catch bluegill, maybe a catfish every now and then. But when you're crappie fishing, everything eats what crappie eat.
Mm-hmm.
So you may set the hook from the bank and be in for a ride with a 5-pound channel cat.
yeah. With your 6-pound test.
Yeah, like last week or 2 weeks ago on the boat, we caught a 9-pound striper casting at schools of fish.
Really?
I was like, "You're in for a ride now, buddy. Just hang on."
On 6-pound line.
On 6-pound line, he got it in the boat, and
Nice.
he was tickled pink about it.
Dude, that's crazy. It talking about like strategy and just how different they can be. Like I remember,
Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order.
growing up, like just certain days, like you would just drop a jig and like you wouldn't even have to do anything, and within 10 seconds you'd get a bite.
Yeah.
Like, and just in and out all day long. And then, we haven't spent a lot of time trying to figure it out here, but like we've got a fish finder on the boat and we've gone on Lanier like last spring and went a few times and just like, just struggled, man. Like couldn't even catch a crappie, and we're like, "What the hell?" Like we're trying everything.
Dude, I feel like we was definitely facing the how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. Because
I've heard
it's a big lake,
and I've heard Lanier can just be tough, and that's just part of it. But that challenge of figuring out, and when you do figure out, you're gonna be like, "Man, this was rewarding." Like,
yeah,
we spent our time trying to figure this out, and now we know what to do.
Well, and the locals, and I think you talked about this last time we had John, but you said that in the mornings, you just said this actually a little while ago. In the mornings you get up and go to the bait shop. It's one of the best places I found just here locally to learn about fishing over at Lake Lanier. I just went over and started talking to the local guy. He's lived there all his life. He's got this bait shop there on the lake, and he told me exactly what to do. Go. He goes, I'm not going to tell you any of my best spots. He goes, but I'm just going to tell you this is what they're doing right now, and this is what you're fishing with, and gave me some tips.
Local knowledge is the best tips.
Yeah,
those guys know. It's like if you guys were coming over here and I didn't know you, and you're standing at the bait shop, well, you guys are going to ask, hey, what are the fish doing? Most of us standing at the bait shop, we're going to tell you what they're doing. We're not going to give you any hot areas or wherever, but we'll tell you what they're doing and how they're doing it. And now you guys can try to go replicate that in areas of the lake until you find them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you guys a sense of confidence as well. Like, hey, well, we seen him bring in 60 fish yesterday. Doing that, he ain't going to lie to you. So that's what some of us won't. Yeah. Some will. But most of us are pretty trustworthy because I think as far as myself, like I said, and I've said several times, is at the end of the day, I want people to catch fish, take it home to their family, and because it's all about table fare, really. Crappie is one of the best eating fish out there.
Hell yeah, it is.
It is. Bro, it is. There's no doubt about it.
Well, I'll fight somebody over some walleye, but crappie's a second. But that's at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's just table fare and having a good time doing it.
Man, I just I think about when you're going out and trying to learn something new for the first time, and there's a lot of people that have been farm pond fishermen like I was growing up that a panfish was a panfish. I didn't even know the difference in a bluegill or a red belly and crappie and bass. And honestly, I really didn't at the time, just catching fish, but they are fun, man. They are just, now talk about the difference. There's black crappie and white crappie.
Yeah. So you have black crappie and white crappie. You guys probably have a lot of black crappie on Lanier, right? Do you guys have any white crappie over there that you know of?
I don't know. I don't know for sure.
So
I think the ones out back are white, but I'll send you a video of it and you can tell me whether it's black or white.
Yeah. So your black crappie are going to be, I believe they've got 7 spines, but they're just, as Florida people call them, they call them specks because they're speckled with black dots pretty much. Whereas your white crappie, and the blacks are going to be a little bit shorter and stocky. Whereas your white crappie, they get longer and they'll actually have vertical bars through them. They won't be speckled like the blacks will. They'll just have like green or kind of like a greenish bluish tint to them, vertical bars down their sides, as well as the white, kind of a white background on them.
So I would say that's a white crappie, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so.
It's kind of like almost lines.
Yeah.
And it's got that bluish. I'll have to have Tristan send it to you, but I think it's like white.
Like most of the fish that I'm catching right now and I'm posting, they're black crappie because they get in big schools together for anywhere from 5 to 200 fish. And white crappie, they're pretty much a solitary fish. They like to get out by themselves and just kind of sit there. And that's my clients, they call me crazy because I can tell what kind of fish they're casting at before they even catch it.
Wow.
I can tell them like, hey, I know this is a white crappie sitting out here because he's sitting by himself in 15 foot of water, 2 foot off the bottom.
Yeah.
I got you.
Whereas we're chasing a school of fish there's 40 of them and they're all 8 foot below the surface and 15 foot of water. I know those are black crappie just because they're schooling fish, whereas the whites like to get out by themselves and do more of like let the bait come by them and come off the bottom and ambush them.
Huh. Okay, that's interesting.
Whereas your black crappie will really run that bait down when they see it.
Now, like do you find like the bigger crappies, are they white or black crappies, or can they both get big?
They can both get big, and your real big fish you see in like a lot of the fish you guys caught in Mississippi were big white crappie. The lakes that we have here, high mountain lakes like Lanier, St. Clair, or is that no, it's not St. Clair. Clark's Hill that you guys have in northeastern Georgia. And where I'm at, Gunnersville, Weiss, Neely Henry, those whites and blacks, they don't all spawn at the same time, but you'll actually have interbreeding between the two.
Huh.
Whereas you'll get a white and a black that'll crossbreed and make a hybrid crappie. Those are the ones that get ginormous. I actually won a tournament a couple weeks ago on the Warrior River in central Alabama, and I had 3 hybrids. One was a 320, then another was a 294, and then I had a 260.
Wow.
But that, and they're kind of unicorns. You don't come across them often. And that day I come across 3 of them,
Wow.
Wow. I got lucky. But there's really actually four different species of crappie. You have your white, your black, your magnolia, or your black nose. So I'm not sure if you guys seen any there in Mississippi or not, or you have any over there at Lanier, but it'll be a black crappie, but it actually has a racing stripe that starts at the bottom of its lip and runs all the way down its back.
Oh,
Huh. That's
It's
cool.
just about a quarter-inch wide all the way down its back, and then you have your hybrid. So
and that's called a magnolia?
a magnolia or
Okay.
a black nose.
I got you.
I call them black noses, but a lot of people call them magnolias. But that's a lot of what people. So when you hear of biologists stocking lakes, they stock them with those magnolias or black noses because when those fish spawn or reproduce, they have that dominant trait of the black nose. So they can track those fish. Hey, we stocked it with 100,000 black nose fish 2 years ago that were 9 to 11 inches. Well, those guys now are catching a bunch of black nose or magnolias, a year from there that are 12 to 13 inches. But now we have this new population of black nose fish that are 4 inches. So we know they reproduced the last 2 years.
Huh.
Yeah.
So they're able to know that because that dominant trait shows up, and a lot of your black noses will only spawn with black crappie. I've only seen 2 in my lifetime, and I've caught a ton of fish. But a black nose with a white crappie's body. He's got the vertical barring, but the black stripe down his back.
Huh. So if we ever catch one of those, mount it.
The 2 I caught were small, so I let them go. But if you catch a big one, if I caught one that was over 2 pounds, it'd be going on my wall.
Hell yeah.
just because it'd be neat fit. You hardly ever see any of them.
Right.
So I've caught 2, and I know one other person that's caught a couple of them, and that's it.
Yeah, I'll have to look up and get a picture on that and have that in my brain, because if I see that, I'm going to be like, oh.
Yeah. Have
You can't. It's literally like a razorback right down their spine.
Huh.
Just a straight black stripe. They're cool looking. They're mean too.
That's cool, man. Do you have any crappie taxidermied at the house?
I've got 4.
Nice.
Oh, 5. I've got 4 altogether. Biggest being I think a 352.
Wow.
Going down to a 320, and then Glen Shoals back in Illinois, I caught a 306 out there in 2020 that I had mounted. So,
golly.
Jeez. And do you know, like, this might be a dumb question, but like, isn't when they mount the fish, like, isn't it more just based off like the size and like pictures and measurements and stuff? Like they're not actually using the skin, are they? Or
they still do skin mounts where they actually are using skin. They're just they're getting all the meat off the sides pretty much. It's a very fickle process, but a lot of guys now are actually going to replicas. They're getting good pictures of both sides, girth measurements, real good length measurements, and really, really good pictures. And they're giving all that information to the taxidermist, and the taxidermist can actually make a really good replica of that fish.
Yeah.
That way at the end of the day, you're letting that fish go to reproduce those genetics that it's made its life out of.
Yeah. And that's a good kind of, you're getting the best of both worlds there a little bit,
Yeah. So you're getting it's like a big whitetail. You get a 4.5-year-old deer that's, 170 inches. You want that deer to make it through the rut another year or 2 years and shoot him when he's 6.5, because then he's going to pass on those genetics of those, heavy horns.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a big female crappie that's weighing over 3 pounds. You get good pictures of her, get a replica made, let her go. She spawns 1 more year, 2 more years. Now she spread that genetics to 200, 300,000 fish that she's laid eggs to, if they make it.
Yeah.
And what's to say of those 300,000 or 200,000 that survived, 5 of them don't become future 3-pounders.
Right.
So that's kind of what I try to do is, I had, like I said, I had 290 on a guy trip the other day. That guy let that fish go. He's like, I just want a couple good pictures of her, and I'll let her go so she can do her thing and spawn and, pass down those genetics.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's important. I got laughing to myself, and I was thinking, I said, yeah, I can see the future of deer hunting now. It's just, all we do is throw dirt clods at big bucks. We just take a bunch of good pictures, and we just throw dirt and go, screw you, and just hit him with a dirt clod, and they'd be like, hey, can you do a replica of this deer?
Yeah, you just
put a bunch of cameras, put a bunch of trail cameras in a circle and get pictures of them all the way around, and take them to your taxidermist. Be like, hey, I got this deer. I shot him with a bunch of trail cameras. Can you make me a replica of it?
Yeah. That's hilarious. But
but yeah, at the end of the day, it's about passing those genetics down to those fish and giving them a chance to get big.
It's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese. But now it's September and it's 85 degrees and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable waders technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment. Stay bone dry by using discount code ZD315 for 15% off not only your first purchase, like most discount codes, but how about every single purchase you make from now until December 31st, 2024?
Because what's to say that 3-pound fish really isn't 3 years old, and he just grew that fast, and because an average lifespan of a crappie is anywhere from 5 to 7 years. At 3 years old he's pushing 3 pounds, or 4 years old he's pushing 3 pounds. What's to say that 5th or 6th year, or his last year of life, he hits 4 or 4 1/4, and somebody catches him, and you're like, wow, that fish he's old, but he's big.
Yeah.
So you just don't know. You could have potentially caught the next state record if you let it go and it continues that growth.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
I guess that's the risk you're taking anytime you pull something out, off the planet.
You shot that 4.5-year-old whitetail that was 180 inches. What's to say next year he doesn't come back and he puts on mass and a couple more times and he's pushing 200 now.
Mm-hmm.
So fishermen say the same thing as whitetail deer hunters, like, would have been bigger next year.
That's how I am. That's the way I think about it. And there's so many fish out there, but when that fish hits that trophy fish of 2.5 to 3 pounds, to me, that fish, he's made it through being eaten as a hatchling to being caught by fishermen. Now I want that fish to go back and spread its genetics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you might know, Shiloh, but I have no idea what the odds are. But I gotta think like the odds of a fish getting to that got to be like 1% or 2% or something
less
crazy.
Way less.
That is legitimate survival of the fittest.
Mm-hmm.
They have to compete for food every day, and they don't have like us planting food plots for deer or agriculture planting corn and soybeans. They have to live off what's in the lake. We're not adding more shad to the lake or more bugs to the lake for them to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever comes through, they got to eat it to get big. So they've made it that long on their own.
Right.
They don't have all the protein there for them. They've got to go find their own the shad schools and eat that, and the odds of it not being a shad and being a crappie jig or a jerk bait or something, that just they've got everything going against them pretty much.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, man, that's great.
Yeah.
And the taxidermy thing. One more thing I was going to ask. What does it run to get a crappie taxidermist or done?
I think they charge by the inch. It's been a couple of years since I've had one done, but the last the 4-fish mount that she charged me, I think it was like $325 a fish.
Oh wow!
So it's not terrible, but it's not great either.
Yeah, that's more than a duck.
I'd say it's probably about the same, depending on.
But they're artists too, you know. They're actually, you know, airbrushing those fish and making them, you know, replicating that memory that you're going to hold a lifetime.
Yeah, I could totally see. There's more labor intensive, you know.
Well, and just like in ducks, so I mean, you can get them for a couple hundred all the way up to 600, you know, depending on who you pay, and I'm sure the same thing goes along with the fish or the style.
Yeah, a lot of it is you get what you pay for, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got you. Tristan, you got any other probing questions for this freaking ace? I mean, bottom line is, y'all, you got to get out there, get off the couch, and get the pole in the water.
Yeah. Well,
put the work in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to, I guess, touch on, you know, your what's going on with the, you know, guide service. Where,
yes. I'm sorry.
You know, people where people can find you to book with you, you know, and all that good stuff. You know, what your rates are and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I typically charge $350 to $400, depending on how many hours. I think it's right now I'm charging $350 for 6 hours, $400 for 8 hours. A lot of my trips are done in 6 hours because we're catching that many fish that quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I normally won't charge them the extra for $400 or for the 8 hour because we're getting it done in 6. But they can get a hold of me on Facebook, Shiloh Shoppell Fishing, or they can call and text me anytime, 618-407-3986. And I provide everything. I keep a 65-quart cooler on the back of the boat filled with water and ice, and I provide all the rods, reels, bait, tackle, equipment. And I'm not running around out there in a 16-foot John boat. I've got a brand new bass boat that's 2 years old that's comfortable. You know, you're not going to go out there and get beat to death in it. So it's top of the line, and I'm in it every day. So if I'm not going to get out there in something that just beats the crap out of myself, and you know, I'm able to get on my boat and at the end of the day still be feel good. So
yeah, and this is all in Northwest Alabama, right?
Yeah, northeast Alabama on Weiss and Neely. Weiss and Neely Henry Lakes here at Leesburg and Gadsden, Alabama. So awesome. That's where all my trips run.
Well, good deal, man. Yeah, that's awesome what you're doing, and it's definitely been fun to watch for afar. And I know we keep saying, but one of these days we are going to make it happen on a fishing trip. Because honestly, I just want to go out there and freaking obviously have a good time fishing with you, but I want to make some cool crappie fishing content, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, y'all would have a blast with it.
Heck yeah, man. We have to do that soon.
Yes, we will.
All right.
Bud, you stay safe out there, and and the best luck to you. I know you're such a good, humble guy, and good things happen to good people, and I'm not surprised, not at all. And I know you're going to continue to give your clients just a great trip, and good luck on the new baby coming up.
Man, I'm excited about it. I can't wait for that. But yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on. It's great catching up with you guys as it is always. So
absolutely, man. We'll make it a yearly thing at least. You know,
we'll have Daddy on next time.
Yep.
Yes, sir. You have to get I'll have my little one on the boat before you know it. So.
Yep.
That's right. Shoot, by the next time we talk to you, she already have a freaking fish.
Yeah. She'll have something going on. That's for sure.
All righty, man. Well, thank you, Shiloh.
You take care. Say hi to your family for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right,
see you, man.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.